What is a psychological contract? Hi, I'm David Wilkinson, the Editor-in-Chief of the Oxford Review. The term psychological contract refers to the often unspoken set of expectations and assumptions that two parties, employees and the organisation, its leaders and managers, have of each other about things like how they will behave and act. Examples of psychological contracts. For example, an organisation may allow workers to use their work computers for personal issues like booking holidays or keeping up with social media, or people are allowed to charge their personal mobile phones at work. Now, whilst these aren't part of their normal working conditions and formal contract, and indeed may actually be against the official rules, a type of informal, unspoken practice tends to develop over time. Eventually, this behaviour becomes an expectation and a psychological contract is created. A more common psychological contract is how people are treated within the organisation. It may be that you work in a friendly firm where everyone is on first-name terms, or more formal where leaders are referred to by their last name such as Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, for example. Psychological contract breaches. The problem then comes when these informal psychological contracts are breached. For example, a new manager comes in and stops people charging their personal mobile phones at work or using work computers for personal issues. Such breaches in the psychological contract or set of expectations have been found to be a significant cause of conflict and disruption within the workplace. For example, a 2018 study found that reported incidents of workplace bullying by managers tend to increase during times of organisational change. The study found that this perception of increased bullying was largely due to the fact that organisational change frequently creates breaches of the psychological contract. For instance, workers may have to work different hours or work in different ways with different managers. As a result, the expectations people had built up about their behaviour and what they can and can't do will almost always change, thus breaching the psychological contract. As a result, previous studies had found that psychological contract breaches invariably lead people to feeling hard done by, often not valued or cared about. Psychological contract breaches have been found to predict turnover in tension, increase sickness, stress and conflict within an organisation. Development of the term psychological contract. The term psychological contract was first introduced by Chris Argyris in 1960 and developed significantly by Denise Russo in 1989 in a seminal paper called Psychological Implied Contracts in Organisations. For free research briefings and more, go to www.oxford-review.com.